From the dark allure of black magic to the protective forces of white magic and perhaps the complexity of ritual magic, we delve deep into the list of the most powerful types of magic, exploring their unique abilities and the incredible ways they've been wielded. High ceremonial magic, while undoubtedly one of the most powerful forms of magic, often ranks lower in accessibility due to its complexity and the high degree of preparation it demands. Unlike other forms of magic that may rely on simple spells or single rituals, ceremonial magic typically involves elaborate rites, precise timing, and a deep understanding of esoteric symbols and texts. Its effectiveness lies in its structure and precision, often requiring a strict adherence to tradition. Many rituals can take days or even weeks to prepare, and some require multiple participants, making it inaccessible for solitary practitioners or those lacking resources. This complexity limits its widespread use, despite its potential potency. Its rigorous nature is why it's not always as commonly practiced as simpler forms of magic like folk or natural magic, despite its profound results. A prime example of ceremonial magic's intricacy is the Ars Goetia from the medieval text The Lesser Key of Solomon. This grimoire describes the summoning of 72 demons, where each ritual demands a specific sequence of chants, invocations, protective circles, and even the precise positioning of magical tools. Users of this magic, often referred to as magicians or magi, needed to be well-versed in astrology, alchemy, and the Kabbalah, which made it a discipline for scholars and those with access to arcane knowledge. Originating from ancient cultures, including Egyptian and Greek traditions, ceremonial magic evolved throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, heavily influencing Western esoteric traditions. Figures like Aleister Crowley in the 20th century continued to popularize this powerful but demanding form of magic. On the other hand, there are also simpler forms of ceremonial or ritual magic that, while not as powerful as the more complex rites, are easier to perform and still hold significance. These rituals often focus on invoking protective spirits or blessings and can be completed by individuals with fewer tools or preparation. Witchcraft is often seen as a potent form of magic characterized by its connection to the natural world and its accessibility to those outside formal rituals. Practitioners of witchcraft, known as witches or sorcerers, typically engage in spells, charms, and herbal remedies to influence events or individuals. Unlike ceremonial magic, which often requires elaborate rituals, specific tools, and strict adherence to protocols, witchcraft can be performed with simple ingredients found in one's environment, such as herbs, stones, and personal items. This ease of access has made witchcraft a widely practiced form of magic throughout history, evident in various cultures from the witch trials of early modern Europe to the folk traditions of the Appalachian region in the United States. Figures such as the cunning folk in England or the witches of the Salem trials exemplify the duality of witchcraft, where practitioners were often revered for their healing abilities yet vilified for their perceived maleficence. Historically, witchcraft has roots in ancient pagan beliefs and has evolved through eras marked by fear and superstition. In many cultures, witchcraft was seen as a bridge to the divine, where practitioners harnessed the power of nature to effect change. For example, in European folklore, witches like Baba Yaga from Slavic mythology wielded significant power, often depicted as wise women with deep connections to the earth and its magic. However, witchcraft's limitations became pronounced during periods of societal upheaval. Accusations often led to persecution, as seen during the witch hunts in the late 16th and 17th centuries. While witches could wield formidable influence through their spells, they were frequently at the mercy of cultural biases and fears, highlighting the fragile balance between power and vulnerability in their practices. Before delving into this topic, it's essential to clarify that we will treat both prophecy and divination as forms of magic that grant the ability to glimpse the future. I won't be addressing their differences, particularly the religious aspects often associated with prophecy. Therefore, for the sake of this discussion, we'll refer to this ability as future sight. I kindly request that we refrain from comments like, "Now let's continue." Future sight is an incredibly powerful form of magic, granting its practitioners the ability to see potential futures and, in some cases, alter fate itself. This remarkable capability places future sight among the most potent magical abilities, if not the most powerful. However, its ranking can be misleading, as the power associated with future sight often proves difficult to control. Many practitioners experience glimpses of the future unexpectedly, without intent or preparation. Moreover, in both Norse and Greek mythology, even the gods themselves are subject to the whims of fate. For example, Cronus, aware that one of his children would ultimately overthrow him, takes drastic measures to prevent this outcome. Yet fate unfolds as prophesied. Similarly, in Norse mythology, Odin, the all-seeing and wise god, understood the inevitability of Ragnarok, the foretold end of the world. Many interpretations suggest that he recognized the futility of trying to alter fate, which may explain why he chose not to kill Fenrir and his siblings, despite foreseeing their role in the destruction. However, Odin did not remain passive. He gathered allies and prepared for the impending conflict, striving to alter the course of destiny when the time came. But as history has shown, even with foresight and preparation, fate often finds a way to assert itself. So, does this render future sight useless? The story of Meleager poignantly illustrates the complexities of future sight and fate. According to myth, Meleager was the son of Enyeus, king of Caledon, and Althea. Shortly after his birth, the Fates, Moirai, appeared to Althea and foretold that Meleager's life would last only as long as a particular log remained unburned. In a desperate attempt to change her son's fate, Althea immediately removed the log from the fire and hid it away. This action exemplifies how knowledge of the future can alter its course. However, as Meleager grew into a renowned warrior and led the famous Caledonian boar hunt, tensions arose when he gifted the boar's hide to Atlanta, provoking his uncle's ire. In a tragic turn of events, Meleager killed his uncles during this conflict. When Althea discovered that her son had slain her brothers, her grief transformed into vengeful fury. In a heart-wrenching act, she retrieved the hidden log and threw it into the flames, thereby fulfilling the prophecy that had sought to govern her son's life. As the log burned, so did Meleager's existence, illustrating that while fate can be delayed, it ultimately prevails. This tale emphasizes that future sight, while a formidable magical ability, is intertwined with the inescapable nature of destiny, making it a powerful yet precarious gift. Despite its challenges, future sight remains a significant form of magic, deserving of recognition for its capacity to influence fate, even if only temporarily. If you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing. It's free and you can unsubscribe later. Alchemy is a mystical practice that originated in ancient Egypt and later flourished in Greece and the Islamic Golden Age, merging philosophy, spirituality, and early science. Alchemists believed in the transmutation of base metals into noble ones, particularly gold, symbolizing the quest for perfection and immortality. This pursuit often involved elaborate rituals, the use of various substances, and intricate symbolism. The famed alchemist Hermes Trismegistus, often regarded as a mythical figure, represents the synthesis of Greek and Egyptian wisdom, embodying the belief that through alchemical processes, one could achieve not only material transformation but also spiritual enlightenment. Alchemists sought to unlock the secrets of the universe by understanding and manipulating the four classical elements: earth, water, air, and fire, believing that true mastery over these elements could lead to higher knowledge and even immortality. What sets alchemy apart from other magical practices like ceremonial magic, witchcraft, and divination is its unique blend of spiritual and scientific inquiry. Unlike ceremonial magic, which often relies on fixed rituals and invocations, alchemy embraces experimentation and transformation, fostering a direct relationship between the practitioner and the material world. Witchcraft, while empowering individuals to manipulate energies for various purposes, lacks the comprehensive philosophical framework that alchemy provides. Divination and prophecy focus on foreseeing events rather than transforming the practitioner, which is central to alchemy's goals of personal evolution and enlightenment. Evocation is a potent and intricate form of magic centered around summoning entities, be they spirits, demons, or deities, into the physical realm to perform tasks or provide guidance. This practice has roots in various ancient cultures, including the Mesopotamian and Egyptian civilizations, where ritualistic evocations aimed to invoke the favor or assistance of divine beings. Notable examples of powerful users include the biblical figure King Solomon, revered for his mastery of evocation, as illustrated in texts like the Lesser Key of Solomon, which details rituals for summoning and commanding demons. The effectiveness of evocation lies in the relationship between the caster and the summoned entity. The stronger the bond, the more powerful the results. However, the success of an evocation heavily depends on the caster's will and concentration, making the practitioner, often referred to as a magus or necromancer, the most vulnerable link in the chain. Despite its formidable potential, evocation carries significant risks and limitations. Should the caster be harmed or distracted, the connection to the summoned entity may break, rendering it powerless and sending it back to its realm. This vulnerability emphasizes the need for a strong, focused practitioner who can maintain control. In various mythologies, such as the grimoires of medieval Europe, practitioners often had to navigate not only the complexities of the summoning process, but also the dangers posed by malevolent forces that sought to disrupt their magic. Thus, while evocation can unleash remarkable powers, the fate of both the caster and the summoned being is intricately tied together. Once the caster's energy wanes or their focus shifts, the powerful ally they summoned becomes nothing more than an echo of their intent, lost to the void. Invocation is a powerful and ancient form of magic, where the summoner calls upon a spiritual entity or deity to merge with their body, using themselves as a vessel. Unlike evocation, where the being is summoned outside the caster's control, invocation results in the entity and summoner sharing a physical or spiritual bond, granting extraordinary abilities. The practice has roots in various mythological traditions, from the rituals of ancient Greek priests invoking gods like Apollo, to the shamans of Siberia who would merge with animal spirits for strength or healing powers. The individual may retain control over their actions, or the summoned being might take over completely, depending on the mythology or ritual in use. In the case of invoking benevolent beings or deities, the caster may receive divine protection and immense power, effectively wielding abilities equal to the god they've merged with. However, such magic comes with great physical and spiritual tolls, as the body struggles to contain such powerful forces. One of the primary limitations of invocation is the danger posed to the summoner's body and soul. In mythologies such as ancient Mesopotamian or Egyptian traditions, invoking a god or spirit required elaborate preparation, sacred tools, and immense personal strength. Failure to properly prepare or summoning a malevolent entity could result in permanent possession, injury, or madness. Legendary figures such as shamans or priestesses would undergo rigorous training to master this art, making invocation a skill reserved for only the most powerful magicians. In modern interpretations, such as those seen in anime like Shaman King, the practice retains the essence of its historical roots. The summoner must strike a balance between control and surrender, with the outcome largely determined by the nature of the entity being invoked. The power that comes from successful invocation can be vast, but it always carries significant risk. White and black magic have long been seen as two sides of the same coin, each representing opposing forces in the metaphysical world. White magic, often called benevolent or healing magic, is used for protective, helpful purposes, such as healing the sick, safeguarding communities, or invoking blessings. In contrast, black magic, sometimes referred to as malefic or destructive magic, is wielded for selfish, harmful ends, such as causing illness, curses, or controlling others. Throughout history, both have been believed to counterbalance one another, with white magic often seen as a remedy to the malevolent effects of black magic. The ancient Egyptians practiced both forms through rituals to either protect their pharaohs or cast curses on enemies. In medieval Europe, white magicians or cunning folk were called upon to break hexes, while black magicians, known for their secretive rites, were feared for their curses. The efficacy of one was often thought to neutralize the other, forming a delicate balance between light and shadow. Some of the most powerful examples of these magics can be found in historical figures such as Aleister Crowley, who practiced a mixture of both through his teachings of Thelema, blending ritualistic elements of white and black magic for personal power and transformation. In earlier times, the famous magicians of the Middle Ages, such as John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, practiced high ceremonial magic, often seen as white magic, to gain wisdom from divine beings. In contrast, rumors of dark practitioners in witch trials, accused of using black magic to harm crops or bring misfortune, were rife in the early modern period. The limitations of both forms are rooted in intention. White magic is bound by ethical concerns, while black magic risks retaliation or spiritual corruption. Yet, as history and myth illustrate, these two forms of magic are intertwined, forever locked in opposition, each drawing its power from the other. Gray magic, often described as the balance between black and white magic, is neither wholly benevolent nor entirely malevolent. It resides in a moral gray area, allowing practitioners to use their abilities for personal or neutral purposes without being bound by strict ethical codes. In history and mythology, gray magic was associated with individuals who sought to maintain equilibrium between light and darkness, using their power with a sense of pragmatism. The Druids, wise figures from Celtic mythology, were often considered practitioners of such magic. They wielded their powers to mediate between opposing forces of nature, life, and death, harnessing energies to protect or destroy as needed. Unlike the rigid morality of white or black magic, gray magic offers versatility and adaptability, which makes it a potent force in mythological practices. One of the reasons gray magic is considered more powerful than its black or white counterparts is its flexibility. Black magic, focused on selfish and harmful intentions, often leads to chaos or negative consequences. White magic, although protective, can be limiting due to its emphasis on benevolence. Gray magic transcends these restrictions, allowing the practitioner to use both light and dark elements in a balanced and calculated way. Figures like Merlin from Arthurian legend, known for wielding magic in morally ambiguous ways, could be seen as gray magicians. This flexibility made gray magic particularly powerful in eras like the Middle Ages, where survival often depended on one's ability to navigate complex moral landscapes, drawing on all aspects of magical power to achieve desired outcomes. Chaos magic is one of the most flexible and adaptable forms of modern magic, emerging in the late 20th century, primarily from the occult movements of the 1970s. Unlike traditional forms such as black, white, or gray magic, chaos magic allows the practitioner, often called a chaos magician, to freely choose and craft their belief system, drawing from various magical traditions. This approach rejects the rigid structures typically found in other forms of magic, which often bind users to a specific moral code or belief in the inherent nature of good and evil. Chaos magic uses symbols, rituals, and even practices from other types of magic, be it the hexes of black magic, the protective charms of white magic, or the neutral workings of gray magic. Its power lies in this limitless adaptability, as chaos magicians can switch between or combine spells from different systems to achieve the most effective result in a given situation. The key to chaos magic's superiority over black, white, or gray magic is its refusal to restrict itself. White magic is focused solely on positive, healing spells, and its users tend to avoid any harmful or offensive magic, while black magic deals with curses and darker rituals, often feared for its destructive nature. Gray magic, which tries to balance between light and dark, still operates within set ethical or spiritual boundaries. Chaos magic, however, throws all of these limitations aside, embracing the idea that belief itself is fluid and that the will of the practitioner shapes reality. Chaos magicians mix and match elements from all magical systems, making their spells more versatile and often more powerful. This flexibility, and the ability to create completely unique spells, has led to chaos magic being regarded as one of the most powerful types of magic in modern occult practice. Practitioners like Peter J. Carroll and Austin Osman-Spare are well known for advancing chaos magic, drawing on occult, ceremonial, and psychological principles. Their work demonstrated how chaos magicians could manipulate their personal reality with unparalleled freedom. Specialized magic, as seen in various history and mythologies, is a rare and potent form of magic tied to specific, often elemental or conceptual forces. Unlike broader magic forms like gray or chaos magic, which cover a range of abilities, specialized magic is focused and mastered by a few, often individuals who are born with an innate connection to that power. A prime example is Kronos, the primordial Greek god who personifies time itself. His magic is deeply tied to the manipulation of time, a force that governs all life, decay, and renewal. Unlike a magician who might cast a spell for protection or fire, Kronos could slow, reverse, or even stop time altogether. His power surpasses typical magic users because it taps into a primal force of existence, making it both immensely powerful and limited to those born with such a connection. Zeus, another key figure in Greek mythology, controls lightning and thunder, and while many deities may have broad magical powers, Zeus' specialized control over the sky sets him apart as a ruler of the elements, reflecting the dominance of specialized magic in shaping divine hierarchies. Specialized magic is considered one of the most powerful types of magic due to its focus and mastery over a singular but profound force. These magics are often woven into the fabric of the cosmos, making them dangerous and far-reaching in their impact. For example, gods like Hades or Thanatos, death, control the domain of death itself, a force no ordinary magic can rival or circumvent. The limitations of this magic lie in its singular focus. Those who wield it might lack versatility, but their mastery over their specialized domain makes them virtually unstoppable within it. Unlike general practitioners of magic who may be considered jack of all trades, wielders of specialized magic become godlike figures in their specific realms, commanding awe and reverence from all. This magic often comes from ancient sources, such as primordial deities or cosmic entities, and it has shaped mythological tales by introducing forces too powerful for mere mortals or even lesser gods to challenge. For deeper insights into magic, click on the video to your left. And for more captivating mythology content, check out the video to your right. If you found this video enjoyable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.